Good morning, K1. I missed you guys so much. I hope you had a blessed Easter and a wonderful spring break. I can't wait to hear about all of the fun things that you did, but I'm really excited that we're back together again to do some more learning. I really missed hearing your voices and seeing your faces, and I was just so impressed by everything that you guys did during our Spirit Week. That was so much fun, and ending it with your spontaneous prayers was such a beautiful way to head into the rest of Holy Week and Easter. And I know Mrs. Whalen and I, you brought us to tears with the beautiful words and the beautiful prayers, and I know that Jesus is just smiling down on all of you. So I feel very blessed to have been able to hear all of your wonderful prayers. So thank you for that. And hopefully you guys can check in on our dojo page and you can post something fun that you did over our spring break. Over my spring break, I started a backyard project. So I'm starting to, I dug up a lot of dirt in my backyard and I'm trying to put down a little rock patio area that we can use, because right now we're not really using our backyard. So I got down in the dirt and I spent a lot of time outside doing that, which was really nice. So I can't wait to hear about all of the things that you guys did over your spring break. So let's go ahead and get started with our morning meeting. Let's do our calendar. So we had a lot of days that passed over our spring break, but yesterday was the 19th day of April, which means today is the 20th day of April. And before we left for spring break, it was our 145th day of school. So today is our 146th day of school. All right, what day of the week was it yesterday? Yesterday was Sunday. If yesterday was Sunday, today is Monday. And if today is Monday, tomorrow will be Tuesday. Awesome job. And I forgot to send out our greeting this morning. I'm going to send out a double high five to you, so go ahead and greet the rest of your family with our double high five. And let's look at our morning message. Good morning, Kinder Crew. Today is Monday, April 20th. I forgot to write the 20th. Monday, April 20th, 2020. Let's count the syllables. All right, are you ready? We're going to count syllables. Here we go. Our first word here, baseball. Ready? Baseball. Baseball. How many syllables? 2. Let's look at our next word. Bicycle. Are you ready? Bicycle. Bicycle. 3. All right. Our next word here, dinosaur. Are you ready? Dinosaur. Dinosaur. 3 again. All right. Our next word here, shark. Are you ready? Shark. Shark. 1 syllable. What about purple? Let's try purple. Ready? Purple. Purple. 2 syllables. And our last word is read. Ready? Read. Read. 1 syllable. Awesome job, kindergarten. Love Mrs. Jones and Mrs. Whalen. And we have 2 new sight words this week. Our first sight word is out. Out is our first sight word. So we're going to make a box with our hand, and then we're going to move our hand out and away. So out. We got out of the box. So we're going to kind of draw a box and move our hand like we're getting out of it. So out. We got out of the box. Out. So you can come up with some of your own sentences using the word out, and you can just share them out loud with anyone who's with you, or you can just say them to yourself. And our next word is mom, and for our motion for mom, we're going to make a heart because we love our moms so much. So for mom, my mom is the best. Mom. And I'm sure you guys can come up with a lot of great sentences using the word mom. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our lessons. For math today, we're going to continue with our sorting. And we just have one vocabulary word for today, and that is sorting rule. So the sorting rule is what tells us how we are sorting different objects. So are we sorting it by shape, color, size? So whichever one we decide on, whichever one is the attribute that we're sorting it by, is the sorting rule. So for example, if we're looking at these different books, are these two books the same shape? Yes, they are. Are these two books the same shape? Nope, they're not. So you already know how to tell the difference between different shapes and how to separate them, but now we're going to be looking at groups and deciding what the sorting rule is for that group. So you can already identify if they're the same or if they're different. And now we're just going to continue on with sorting, deciding what the sorting rule is for that specific group. So we're going to look here at this first group that we have here. We have these three shapes. By looking at these three shapes, I want you to think to yourself, what do you think the sorting rule is? How do you think these shapes have been grouped? Have they been grouped by shape, size, or color? How do you think these shapes have been sorted? The sorting rule for this group is that they were sorted by color. So that's the sorting rule, color. So if we look over here to decide which shape should go with this group, if we know the sorting rule is color, and the color of all of these shapes is orange, then we would choose this shape. And that shape would go with this group because our sorting rule again is color. And this shape does not go with the colors of these other shapes. All right, let's look at our next group over here. Look at these three shapes. What do you think the sorting rule is for these three shapes? Size, color, shape. What do you think the sorting rule is? These three shapes are sorted by their shape. They are all squares. They are all squares. So now, because we know the sorting rule, we can go over to these two shapes and decide which shape also fits the same sorting rule or is the same shape. And now it's easy. We can look and see this shape right here matches the sorting rule because it is the same shape. And let's look at our last group over here. We have these three shapes. What do you think the sorting rule is for this group? They are sorted by color again. So now that I know that, I can easily look over here and decide which shape goes with these shapes. And it's this triangle because it is also green. So that's what you're going to be doing today. You're going to be deciding what the sorting rule is for the group and then choosing the shape that fits with that sorting rule. For your math review page, for number 1, you are going to fill in the bubble next to the picture that shows how the blocks are sorted. So how are the blocks sorted? You're going to fill in the bubble next to the picture that shows how these blocks up here are sorted. For number 2, you are going to fill in the bubble next to the picture of a block that does not belong with the sorted blocks. So looking up here at the sorted blocks, which block down here does not belong with these blocks? And for number 3, you are going to draw 2 more shapes that belong in the group. What are 2 more shapes that belong in this group? Readers, we're going to start a new fiction book today. We're going to start a new fiction book today called Mudge Has a Snack. Puppy Mudge Has a Snack. So before we start our book, remember, when we're reading fiction books, we want to preview the book. So we want to look at the title, look at some of the pictures, and then that can help us make some predictions based on the clues that we see. Remember, we were detectives, and we didn't just make random guesses, we used clues to lead us to our prediction. So before I start this book, I just want to take a peek. I see that Mudge has a bowl with some yummy food in it that he's snacking on. The title is called Puppy Mudge Has a Snack. Let's see. Sleeping. His owner is eating a snack, it looks like. Oh, Mudge is trying to get at the snack. Let's see. Oh, he's drooling. He must be hungry. Let's see. Oh, it looks like he's sitting. He's rolling around. All right. So I did a preview. I looked at the pictures. I looked at the title. And one prediction I have is that Mudge gets a snack. I think that he's going to have a snack in this book because the title tells me that. I also think that Mudge is going to be very hungry because he was drooling a lot in one of the pictures. And I know that my dog, whenever he gets super hungry or he smells food that we're eating, he starts salivating. There's all this drool coming out of his mouth and he knows it's time to get some food. So I think that Mudge is hungry too because he has a lot of drool coming out of his mouth in one of the pictures. And I also think maybe he does some tricks to show his owner that he deserves a snack because it looked like maybe he was sitting, he was doing a spin. So those are some of the predictions that I have. So now I've used my clues. I didn't just guess. I didn't say, oh, I think Mudge goes to the beach, because there weren't any pictures or any words that showed me that. I made my predictions based on what I saw in the book. Now I can read my book and find out if any predictions come true. So this is our fiction book, Puppy Mudge Has a Snack. This is Mudge. He is Henry's puppy. Mudge wants Henry's snack. No, Mudge, says Henry. Mudge gets on Henry's lap. No, Mudge, says Henry. Mudge wants Henry's snack. Mudge gets on Henry's head. No, Mudge, says Henry. Mudge wants Henry's snack. Mudge drools. Aw, Mudge, says Henry. Mudge looks cute. Mudge looks very, very cute. Mudge looks too cute. Mudge, you are too cute, says Henry. Henry gets a snack for Mudge. It is a cracker. Mudge loves crackers. Now Henry has a snack, and Mudge has a snack, and all Mudge had to be was cute. The end. So now readers, were some of my predictions correct? I said that I thought Puppy Mudge was going to get a snack, that he was hungry, that he had to do some tricks to get his snack. Were any of my predictions correct? He did get a snack, and it seemed like he was hungry. It didn't say he was hungry based on his drooling, but we can maybe assume that he was hungry since he wanted a snack. And my last prediction that he did tricks, he didn't really do any tricks, so that prediction wasn't exactly right. He really just sat up and made himself look cute, and then his owner wanted to give him a snack. So I wasn't exactly right with that prediction, but I tried to use the clues to make a prediction, and not all of our predictions are always right, but that's okay. It helps us to think about the book first. So remember, when you're reading your own fiction books, to do predictions based on clues that you see in the book. So now that we've read this book together, I have 3 questions here based on this book. So I want you to talk about these 3 or just think about them if you don't have someone with you that you can talk about them with. And then I want you to just pick one to submit on Class Dojo. So you can either record yourself saying the answer, or you can write it down on a piece of paper and take a picture and submit it that way. So you're only going to submit one of the answers So only one question, but you can go ahead and talk about all of them with mom or dad or a sibling, or you can just think them to yourself if you're doing your work alone. So the questions I want you to think about: how did Mudge get what he wanted? That's the first question. The second question is, do you think Mudge is a good dog? Why or why not? So try to think of a reason. If you think yes, why? If you think no, why? And for number 3, have you ever begged for something like Mudge? All right, so remember, you can talk about all 3 of the questions, but you only need to submit the answer to one of the questions. All right, readers. Writers, you've written nonfiction books on topics that you know a lot about. But today, I'm going to teach you how to do research. And research is when you read nonfiction books to learn about a topic. So today, we are going to learn about giant pandas. And then we're going to write about what we learned. So before we read the book, we are going to look at something that's going to help us figure out what to listen for when we're reading this book. So you guys have a copy that looks like this. This says animal research. So I attached it to the email from last night or for today so that you can look at this. You don't have to fill this out. If you want to fill it out along with me while I'm filling it out on the board, you can, but you don't need to. This is just for you to have an example of what this board will look like when you do your own research. So this is, I drew the board to look like this worksheet. So you can just look at it, or you don't have to look at it. You can fill it in, or you don't have to fill it in. It's just something for you to look at. So this is the animal research graphic organizer that I'm going to use to find out the information about my giant panda. So while I'm reading this book, these are the things that I want to pay attention to. I want to listen for what it looks like, what it eats, where it lives, and any other fun facts that I really like that I think I might want to include in my research. So when you're reading the book, you want to pay attention to these things, and if you hear anything that goes in one of these boxes, you want to write it down in that box. I'm writing it down on sticky notes just in case I want to move any of them around or I want to replace it with something else. It's easier than erasing a lot on my graphic organizer. So when you're filling this out later on for your own animal, you can use sticky notes or you can write it down. It's up to you. So I'm just going to use sticky notes for mine. So we're going to go ahead and read this book and be thinking if you hear any of this information. So, giant panda. Giant pandas live in mountain forests. They are bears with black and white fur. Now, on those first 2 pages, did you hear what it looked like, what it eats, where it lives, or other fun facts? Let me read it again. Giant pandas live in mountain forests. Ding, 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 where it lives. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of my Post-its and I'm going to write over here on it that it lives, this said they live in mountain forests. So I'm writing it with words, but when you do this later on your own, not today, when you do this later on for your own animal, you can write words or you can draw pictures. And you do not have to do it in complete sentences. Again, this is just our graphic organizer, so we're just kind of taking notes. And the other page said, they are bears with black and white fur. What question does that answer? What it looks like. All right. So I'm going to write on here, black and white fur. And again, later on when you do this for your own animal, you can draw pictures or you can write, but you're not doing that today. Today, you're just watching me. All right, let's read the next pages. Their thick fur keeps them warm. They have big, strong teeth. Did that answer any of our questions? What it looks like? Okay, so I can maybe add, because it talked about their fur again, that they have black and white fur, and then I might just add the word thick on here too, so I know they have a thick coat, okay? And then it also said about their teeth that they have big, strong teeth. Awesome. All right, let's keep reading. They love to eat bamboo. There are very few giant pandas still living in the world. Did either of those pages give me any of my information? They love to eat bamboo. What it eats. All right. Gonna write bamboo. And the last page said that there are very few giant pandas still living in the wild. So that could go under my other fun facts. It doesn't tell me what it eats, what it looks like, or where it lives, but it's a really interesting fact, and it's something I might want to write in my research paper, because maybe that'll help people to recycle or to do things to help preserve the habitats that these animals live in. So for my fun fact, I'm going to write that very few live in the wild. So that's my fun fact to go down here. So now I finished my book, and I was able to fill in some facts in my boxes using this book. Now, I do have some empty Post-it notes. I was only able to write one thing for what it eats and only one thing for where it lives. And so when you're doing research, sometimes you want to look at more than just one book. So I do have another book here called Panda Bears. So if I didn't have enough information, I would want to go and look at this book to see if there's anything else I might want to fill in with. So I can do that on my own. I'm not going to read this whole book to you right now, but if I were looking at this, so this says that they're in bamboo forests in the mountains of China. So where it lives, I could add to here, now that I'm looking in this book, this one told me that they live in China. So now I have some more information about where it lives. So I could use this book to fill in some more facts, maybe another fun fact, another fact about what it eats. So when you're doing research, you want to look at more than just one book, so at least 2 books. So I'm going to keep reading this book and see if there's any other facts that I can find out on my own. And when you guys do your own later on, you'll do that as well. But for today, the only thing that I want you to do is, based on the information that I've written here about pandas, what is one thing that you learned about pandas? So that's all you're going to do for writing today. So you can either record it or you can write it down and you can post a picture of it. What is one thing that you learned in our research about pandas? Awesome job on another day of learning kindergarten. I am so proud of you, and I'm so happy that we are back together. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your work this week and to our Zoom call on Friday. This Friday, our Zoom call, we're going to do show and tell. So be thinking this week what item you might want to bring to our Zoom call for show and tell. So we're going to be doing that this Friday. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to all of your learning for the rest of this week, and I'll see you tomorrow.